We're in Bern, Switzerland, and we're going to take a little flight around the town. We're going to look at 3 lakes. So the theme of this flight is lakes. Let's go to the map. We're going to take off from Belp Airport, had to check the name, which is quite close to Bern. So here we are, Belp Airport, next to a river, and going to fly pretty much directly north for about 6.5 miles over a couple of hills, and we're going to find a small lake here, and we're looking for the nearest corner, which is the eastern corner, and distinctive feature, we're going to look for breakwaters, little artificial harbours. So there's one in the southeast corner of the lake, and then our next waypoint takes us pretty much right all the way up the lake. It's only a couple of miles, heading northwest for a few miles, 10-15 miles I think, to the top of Lake Biel, and that will be the northeast corner of Lake Biel. Once again, there's a lot going on here, but I try to pick easily recognisable features like the end of this breakwater. So it's a structure sitting right there on the water, and it's the furthest structure from the shore in that whole part of the lake, the tip of that breakwater. And then we'll turn to the southwest, which takes us nicely down the shore of that lake, all the way down the shore, a little bit inland, across another lake, Lake Murtensee, and we're going to the farthest corner of that lake, which would be the southwest corner. Once again, we'll look for the entrance to this small harbour here. So it's nestled in that corner, looking for the structure which pushes most distance into the water, and then another cardinal direction, pretty much directly east, back to the airport. So almost north at the start, almost east at the end, and then pretty much southwest from lake to lake, and northwest and then southwest. You get it straight. So we've got north, northwest, southwest and east. And looking for large bodies of water. First one's not that large, but it's a body of water, because there's a lot going on in this area. Lots of features and hills and rivers, and roads and buildings. So I've looked for the most simple possible landmarks to get a visual reference from. So let's get into the aircraft and try it out. So we're cleared for takeoff at Belp Airport near Bern. Beautiful afternoon, 5:30 in the evening. So let's get rolling. Wheel brake off. Throttle up, taking it from runway 32. Pretty much puts us on track to our first waypoint. It's a pretty short flight plan. 6.5 miles in the first leg. So here we are rolling onto runway 32. Let's check nobody's coming into land. Looks clear. We've been cleared by the tower, but it's always good to double check. Okay, hefty right rudder there to get us lined up. Runway elevation is 1,677 feet. It's worth bearing that in mind. Okay, this will do. Let's run the engine up. And we're very quickly 29,000, 30,000 RPM, brakes off. .40 knots, 50 knots already, a little bit of right rudder, 70, 80, 90, rotate 6 degrees, and we're climbing, hold the stick back, gear up, flaps up, and I always double check the flaps are up. 180 knots, hold the stick back till we get to 200.
Turning slightly right onto track.
6007, continue for north departure. 6007, leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
Pretty much just say goodbye to the tower. That prominent landmark, that building on the hill up ahead, is a nice landmark to orient us. And I'm going quite slow in this flight, 280 knots. I'll probably stick around 250. So if you get that on our right, we're heading pretty much towards the first waypoint. We're more than halfway there already. So I'll slow up even a little bit more. Have to climb to about 3,000 feet to get over these hills. So immediately after takeoff, you have to start climbing. You've got to get about 1,500 more feet in your altitude. Now let's slow right up because I can see that lake just off to the left there. Here it is. So we're flying pretty much directly at our first turn point. So I went a little bit right, but yeah, it's a pretty fast aircraft. It's my excuse. Now we fly straight up this lake, watching out for the power towers. Cool. Now we've got about 10-12 miles. Just going to trim up a bit. Sitting on 250 knots to the next lake. It's a nice tight little circuit. I think it's about 50 miles all up. There's a road there. You could follow that road up to the lake probably. Now 2,000 feet. Just gets us over this hill. Slowing in a bit too much. When I do this again, I think I will just follow that road. It seems to be taking us where we want to go. Pretty close to it. Again, a bit more speed. 225 at the moment. Going back up to 250. There we go. 249. Gorgeous terrain. I haven't even had time to use the wing camera as much, but perhaps on the next two legs they're a bit longer. So this is waypoint 2. It's going to be the northeast corner of a lake. It's like snow there, doesn't it? It's quite cold. It's only 10 degrees outside. Got the anti-ice and anti-engine icing and anti-pitot tube icing turned on. About 5 miles out, 4 miles out now from the next turn point. I'm going to come right a little bit. So we can turn left over the turn point and go down the lake. So interesting, there's a huge lake there which you can only just begin to see now because of the hills that surround it. See it now stretching off to the west there, southwest. Here we go. So 2,200 feet gets us over this hill. And in this corner of the lake, there's a very straight canal here. I remember seeing that on a map. And in this corner of the lake, should be a bunch of small boats there. And we're looking for a breakwater, hopefully extending into the lake. Not sure it's going to be there. Yeah, it's a little bit underwater. But there we go, we can see the boats. This is exactly the right spot. Cool. Get a shot of that. Nice. Now we head down the lake. And the next lake, what's this one called? Murtensee, I think. Get the speed up again. It's a gorgeous lake. Going to fly right to the end of this lake, across the land a little bit, and onto a another small lake. So let's stick at 2,200 feet. That seems to be a good height for this route. About 250 knots. Just veering off the lake now. And we can see straight ahead, next lake. Once again, 2,200 feet altitude seems to be serving us well. And of course, not real aviation advice. Consult professionals, have lessons if you want to fly real aircraft. There's a lot to know. This is just general simulation flying advice. Look at that gorgeous terrain. Now that is civilized country. Great. So, of course you could choose to fly around this little hill. For the sake of sticking to the plan, I'll fly over it. And it's the kind of fun thing to do in light aircraft, is fly around obstacles like that. I'm going to have to climb a bit. But once again, the 2,200 would get us over there with a couple of 100 feet to spare. Now I look for the far corner of the lake, just straight ahead. Just fantastic looking terrain here. And yes, I can just see centre of my view now, little harbour. Just laugh a little bit. I should get the wind camera to this. See if there's anything there to see. There's not much. Once again, it might be underwater, but that's the right area, right there. Okay, and we turn back directly east. Fly back to the airport. Camera out there. Let's have a look at ourselves. Pretty nice. About 18.5 miles this lake. I'll actually call the airport now, so we'll be back there in no time. Nearest airport, make sure we get the right one. It's going to be Belp number 6. Full stop landing.
3 Tower, Lake 007 is 15 miles west 2,400 feet with kilo to land.
Runway 14.
Enter left base runway 14 Lake 007.
We're going to dial it in. 12, 13, 139, 14. Cool. So it's slightly to the right of our carrot heading. At 10 miles out. I'll just speed up a little bit. And buzz a few of the good burgers in their lovely dairy farms. Let off a little bit of steam. Because we can. Roger that. It's only 12 minutes, so I might do a tight circuit. I'll try to do an abbreviated circuit at the airport. Just having a bit of fun here. Why not? Cut through this little valley. And we're pretty much back at the airport. According to the map, I can't see it yet, but it should be off to the left. There it is. Yep, cool. Comes upon us very suddenly, so let's fly upwind. And then turn crosswind. Fly downwind. So what was about 1,300 feet runway altitude, so I'm at 2,300, that's pretty good. I won't put the gear down yet. Wait till we turn to final. And there's that building we flew past at the beginning of the flight. Okay, I'll now put the gear down. Gear down, flaps down, and turning to final. Keeping an eye on the speed. Still warning there, got a bit slow. Okay. Pretty short final there. 157 knots, throttle fully retarded. I've got 3 greens, flaps are down. I won't put the speed brake out. I'm happy to land once you cross the threshold a bit fast here. At 20 knots fast, oh no, 10 knots fast, that's okay. Certainly looks fast today. 110 now, settling, and touchdown at 105, so at 5 knots faster than recommended, which I'm quite okay with. 15 minutes and 55 seconds, not a bad time. Just exit to the left down here. Can exit there, I think. Can. Yep, follow the green lights. I will do that and see you in the next one.